Welcome, Cyberpunk City tutorial. So you guys requested me to make a tutorial on this and you like this animation so much. So as per your request, here is the tutorial which I divided into several parts from concept and references, assets, composition and modeling, lighting, animation and rendering. So without any further ado, let's dive into the tutorial. So I have seen many artists creating this kind of artwork which is pretty stunning and looking great. So I also wanted to create something like this level with reference like this one and this one. You can see in this render the silhouette of the building, very neat, very inspiring. And this one here, this is also very cool. The building here looking as a main, and some moving screens here. We got some neon signs, Coca-Cola ad and other stuff. So this all the inspiring scene I had in my reference, and the biggest inspiring scene was this from the series on Netflix, Altered Carbon. I really love this city. Like, look at this, this is huge with various buildings, scenes, neon signs, bridges, everything is in there, and it still don't look like a mess. So I just wanted to recreate something like this, but eventually ended up making that kind of animation you saw. So that animation was full inspired by this stuff. And if you have read a book Still Like an Artist, so you know that all the idea you gather and combine to make a new, that is the way to feel like an artist. For creating our Cyberpunk city, we need to gather some assets. So let's start. First up is the Max building pack. These building pack are perfect for forming the backbone of the Cyberpunk skyline. I use them for the last structure that dominating the horizon and give the city a towering look. This is totally free. You can get it here. Just enter you. Next we have Yakovlev art. He got some pretty good assets from Billboard and City Stuff pack, and some day and night building asset pack, and many more free assets. So you can download whatever you want. I just downloaded this too, this according to my requirement. And these assets are great for adding fine details. Think rooftop vent pipes and smaller urban element that make the city feels alive. For creating the cool cyberpunk aesthetic, we need the Kid Bash Freak Neo City pack. It got some very nice sci-fi structures and pretty good assets to fill up our scene. These buildings are great, and this building I used where my character is standing. So yeah, you must get this totally free on KitBash. You can download it from the KitBash site. All link I'll be attaching in the description. And for the cherry on top, we need some neon signs. So you can get my free neon signs pack totally for free, and it got 15 signs. So you can just drag and drop, add into your scene. And if you want more free assets, you can visit my Gumroad. There are free assets and this blender bundle. You can get all of these. There are many free assets. So after downloading all the assets, I added them into my asset browser so I can access them whenever I want. So I'll start with the Neo City Kid Bash pack here. So I'll start with Neo City Kid Bash pack, and for my character I'm going to use this building. Look how quite handy it is, just placing building in the scene, and we are done for our foreground. And yeah, I can just rotate either the building, or I can either rotate the building, or I will set the camera in a way. So first for that, I just need an armature, human meta-rig, and let's just enable snapping on faces. Yep, we got here, and yeah, here our character will stand. And my purpose is to create a city which has like this character, which is a cyberpunk futuristic hacker. So he is now looking at the city for some action. As you build your scene, you need some story in your scene. And after this, I'll just add my camera, and for adding my camera, just well, that's not good. here. So adding my camera in the active scene. So here I'll send my character and add the camera, and I was using 1080 ratio for starting, so it will look equal and cool as we start. Now we have to build the whole city, so just add all the assets, and it's about dragging and dropping and creating the composition however you like. This building is very interesting, like this is the cyber stuff we are looking for. And as of that, let's just have some max asset. Here we go. So this one, let's bring it back by 20. This one I used as the main building in the scene, as you know. Okay, so our camera and scene is like quite off. Let's just rotate it back and rotate it this way here, and add our camera. So let's just have my camera. Please. So now I'm gonna quickly break down with some few things you just need to know. First of all, you can see in my camera I'm using the viewport overlay. If you go to, let me turn on the camera, it's off in the collections. So if you select the camera and go to camera property, and in the viewport display you turn on composition guides, and you can just turn on rule of thirds. So what it will do is it will just create this grid, so you can place your key elements on this cross section because it's the rule of thirds. That's what we'll do. So first let me just take you to the quick overview. As you can see, I've just scattered the building around. Like, I was actually planning for starting this scene from here, so I wanted my character to stand here, but that scene didn't work quite well, and I later replaced it with this. And you can see some bridge over here which I created using some curves. This curve was set to half, and also fill cap, so that's why I have this. And I have rotated it with Ctrl T. You can easily rotate these bridges here, so no issue. And I just duplicated the same bridge here and rotated it 180 degree and placed it here. And for this bridge, or you can say some vehicle loops, I have just used curves again, and with Alt S you can just increase or decrease their sizes. That's the simple way. And I just used array modifier to quickly fill up the scene. As you can see here, we have some in between gaps in the building where this connecting lines for vehicle are showing. Apart from that, I have some vehicles, so I want to break down this for you in the shading tab. Okay, so finally it's loaded. So here you can see there is no actual vehicle in this scene. These are just a plane, or we can say, yeah, so they are just a simple plane. I made them using curve, then I switch them into mesh, and I did that because I wanted to have some freedom on the shader. As you can see, if I play the animation, that is nothing but some lights are moving on. So what I did actually is I used an emission shader and a transparent shader and mix both of them using a Voronoi texture. With Voronoi texture, I can control their movement and their patterns. So I just use Y axis. As you can see, they are not proper, but we are not seeing them very much in the camera for few areas only, so that will work probably. And yeah, so that's how I created this. And you can see our city is not well lit yet because I haven't done the lighting in the scene. We have our assets, the buildings and the vehicles, so we are done with the modeling and composition part. You can feel free and tweak however you like. So now it's the time I will show you the lighting. So for that lighting, if we go to render view and camera view, I have made collections of lighting. So first of all, for better lighting we need fog in our scene. Without the fog, our scene will look good. We can just turn it off for now. I'll first break down the lighting, then I'll show you how it will look with fog. So first I have the lights, which you can see here, a spotlight casting from down here and another spotlight casting over this building. So the part I see not looking good, I added the spotlight there, and I used one sunlight strength of 1, so our cities look like it's lit in the moonlight. And with this I have added some plain lights like area and spotlight to fill up the scene. So here you can see strong blue light as an area lamp, and here there are quite few I added. If I switch off and switch on, you can't see much difference, but here you can see if I turn this off totally and turn on again. Yeah, so some of these buildings which are not lit well, I added these lights so they can lit well. Now our character in this shot don't have any particular lighting like that. Here you can see beacons, so these beacons are just the cube I added on this tower because it will look quite blank if we just have a tower and we can't see. That's why I added. And now our neon signs. So these neon sign are basically the them to make the city look cool. For that I used my neon sign kit bash pack, my neon sign pack. And for these banners, these big banners, let me just select this one. For these banners I just used video from Pixabay and placed it as a image which plugged into the emission color. So that's how I created this. And this also, so this one I just embedded it under the building, so it looks like a grid pattern. And I added the neon signs here. This one is just only fill with rim, no inner fill. Fill to none, you can just do fill to none and increase the depth. These are just pre-made signs I used. And for this sign I just have this sign, so I made the backboard. These are just a placeholder. This sign I took from our Neo City Kit backpack. If you downloaded, you will find it there. And after this done, as you can see, these are too bright for our scene and nothing is looking good. So for the sauce on top, just add some volume. You can see the volumetric took some time, but after I added the volumetric, scene look quite alive and the lighting is properly settled. So for that, light one whole scene which is just 0.005 density, and the other one is 0.002 density with 0.2. So this bottom light lid cover seen from the bottom, the fog strength is coming from the bottom. Now okay, few things, just as you know I have many collections, so slipped here and there. And that's how our scene is lit. Hello and FG sign are just this one also from Examo or Pixabay, and this one I made already. You will find all the assets and signs there. So this is how I did the lighting in this shot. The animation part is very simple. It's just a basic camera location and rotation. So I just, as you can see, I was started working with the camera angle I liked and placed my character in the building there. Then I just placed and keyframe the camera here, and at the end I just switch like this. That's just the location displacement. If I show you the camera, you can just check here. That's very simple. If you are seeing the camera now, you can see all the lights. So with the camera I also animated the rotations of the lights here. So with this rotation the lights are lighting this building and that building on both sides, so it will look like some high city have lighting from various sources. That's how I did the animation part, nothing too fancy. And as you can see, for this vehicle stuff I already told you, this strip where the vehicles, flying vehicles, we see I used this mapping node and animated the y value moving forward. That's it for the animation, nothing too fancy, and it's set on linear, so you can see the camera movement is smooth and single, but it looks quite cool if you see. So that's all depends on this grid. As you can see, I have tried keeping the character on this bottom right spot, but it slipped a little much, so you can just keep the character in that center spot in this cross section. It will look more good, more better, and I know you can make better than mine. I love to see you. Now let's move on to the rendering part. So before the rendering, I just did very basic color correction and added some glare, added a glare node in compositing, and as you can see, I'm using viewport compositing. So the camera here on, and you can switch from here to the compositor. I just added a glare node, minus 0.8 mix and size 8, medium low, and in the color balance I just decrease the highlight. So here you can see, so that's why I use the compositors. And for render I use 256 samples, print occlusion with 10mm distance, 10 meter, sorry, and the bloom by on default, turn on the screen space reflection and motion blur. And for volumetrics I use tile size 4px, but if your PC can't handle it, you can just render on 8px. There is no problem. The smaller you go, the higher, the more time it will take to render. And turn on the volumetric lighting, and that's it for here. And in the color management I used AGX and medium high contrast. You can use it, but film is quite bright, so I just use AGX, and medium high contrast will give us the proper balance in our scene of light and dark. And just exposure and gamma, I tweaked it 0.75 for gamma and 0.5 for exposure. If I set it to 1 as they use it, so image will be brighter. So these are my setting, and for the output I just use 2K with 30 fps and rendered over 20 frames of animation. And I render in PNG sequence because we don't need transparency. So I just use RGB. If we use RGBA without needing a transparency channel, it will just consume more memories. That's it. So that's how I did this render. So for the compositing part, I actually lost the old project file I have created, so and I only have the node, so I can't show you how the render came out, but you see my viewport, you know how it came out. So now I'll show you what I did. First I added the glow. If I can show you this, you can see how much difference it makes. So I added the glow, not on this one, this is the final render after compositing. So first I added the glow, then I added a natural color boost effect on this one. Okay, so not on this one, but yeah, so it enhances all the colors. And for the end I just decreased the temperature to make it more like cold, and boosted the color, and increased the shadow to brighten the image, also increased some details. And that's it. Played around the wheels till I'm not satisfied. So as you can see in this one also, the final image, like this is bringing so much life to the image. But I like the dark mood, so I just kept it minimalistic in the compositing. That's it. So that's how I created this final render. Yeah, so thanks for staying for too long and watching this tutorial I made as per your request. I hope you learn something new and apply into your project, and I want to see what you make while after watching this tutorial. So just go get the assets, links are in the description. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, just go and subscribe. We are about to reach 1000 subscribers. So yeah, that's it, and keep blending.